Hello students, myself Dr. Chaya Bhim. So in this video we will be looking into process specification, control specification, Hartley and Virbaey method. Process specification. So it is a simple way of representing the actions of a data transformations that has to carry out. The most common way of representing is by pseudocode. So this is generally called as non-procedure method way of writing. And generally when I say pseudocode, it can be thought of as an informal programming language. One example we can see here where data level transformation is taken here in order to define its specifications. For example, for this particular transformation, a read temperature transducer, it has an input oven temperature and outputs area temperature, and what action it is performing in order to send value to the area temperature is written here. And every pseudocode is end by giving syntax end, and we can give a process specification number to be 2.1 and so on. Control specification. So we also have a representation for control transformations, that is control specification. So it is nothing but a way of representing in terms of state transition diagram and a state transition matrix. This is a way of representing the control specification. So the first way is by a state transition diagram and state transition matrix. So the rectangular blocks here indicates it as a state. So for every state there will be a next state. So for state 1 it is state 2, state 3 next state will be, since the arrow is initiating to the passing to state 2, it is the next state will be state 2. For every action, for every transformation from state 1 to state 2, there should be an event by action taken. So event A represents event causing the change of state, and what is the action initiated in order to change the state. So for a state 2 to state 3 transformation, then it is event C by D, event E by F. So the same state transition diagram is now been written in terms of matrix. So where we have present state to be state 1, state 2, state 3, event A, event C, event E. So write down all the events. So event A, event C and event E, and we need to write what is the next state and action initiated. So for state 1 the next state will be state 2. For the state 1 the action initiated will be action B. It's very simple. Similarly for state 2, what is the next state? The next state, you have to see the arrow, it is going to state 3, therefore it is state 3 and action will be action D. So for state 3 the next state is state 2, action is F. So this is how you write the state transition diagram. So like this we can write for any applications, any real-time applications, you have to specify the control transformations. We need to understand what is Hartley methodology. So till now what we understood was a Ward method. So before understanding or going into the topics of Hartley-Virbaey method, so we need to see what are the differences between Ward and Hartley method. So there we call it as an essential model, and here we call it as a requirements model. So we have an implementation model in case of Ward and Miller method. The same thing here, it is called as an architecture model. We drift various transformation schema in order to represent data and control transformations like level 1 level 2 transformations. So here the same thing is being represented in terms of flow diagrams and process and control models. So everything was stored in a data dictionary in case of Ward method, whereas here for requirements model there will be a requirement dictionary, for architectural model there will be an architectural dictionary in case of Hartley method. These are the basic differences between Ward and Hartley method. So requirements method of an Hartley method is shown in this figure. So we just have to note down some key points in case of this requirements method. So the major differences between Hartley and Ward was separation of diagrams are used for data and controls. So here only one specification CSPC can appear at any given CFT level. So we can see only one CSPC is present in case of requirements model at any given one CFT level, and all the data flows and control flows are shown with the single arrows. okay, in case of requirements model. And we can see that for many PSPs are generated for different data transformations, and all the data this is related to process and controls are being saved in the requirements dictionary. So this is data flow here represents the process flow and control flow. So everything will be stored in a dictionary called as requirements dictionary in case of requirements model. And nearby notations. So here we can see various notations where the process bubbles or transformations appear on both the CFT and the DFT. So CFT shows a process can produce a control flows as an output, correct? So this is the DFT notation. You can see this is a DFT notation. This is how the DFT notation will be there. And the CFD for the drying almond controller is being represented here. The CSP, it is represented by a bar. So here you can see it's represented by a bar, and there is no process activations information shown in the diagram. The process activation diagram is held in the CSPC. So this bar represents the CSPEC. So it will have all the instances which is related to this particular check conveyor speed 3. Similarly here also God lock, God unlocked. So signals can be done. This bar represented as a CSPEC. The architectural model of the Arden-Meller method is shown here. So again, it's a very simple concept. In developing the architectural model, a procedure based on the using architecture template is suggested. So for every architectural diagrams, you will have to think of what are the flow diagrams and specifications and its interconnecting diagrams, so which will be stored in the architectural dictionary. And in order to model this particular architectural model or a procedure based model, we need to think of architecture template. So this is architecture template. So the enhancement of this model is done by developing virtual terminators, but in case it is suggested that template to be used at each level in the requirements model hierarchy. This template is very much important at requirements model hierarchy. So we have to think of what is process model for every given specifications. So and maintenance and self testing and redundancy management. What is the input processing and output processing? This is a basic template in order to develop the architecture model, which is nothing but a procedure based on the using this particular architecture template. So everything is dependent on this template in order to build the architecture model. It's as simple as that. Thank you.